What up YouTube, I am the Communist Messiah. So this is a question I've been asked a few times now, and I think it's time that I give an adequate explanation. My username, as you know, is the Communist Messiah. I open up every video with it, but since I'm not a Stalinist, Trotskyist, Leninist or Marxist, how can I be a communist? Right? People have asked me what it means to me to be a communist. Well, in the Communist Manifesto, Marx details several different types of communism: Marxism, Germanic communism, and French Revolutionary communism, to name three of them. Now, I tend to identify most with the French revolutionaries, mostly because I'm Irish, so I like revolutionaries. They weren't Marxists. They were just driven by their desire to be on a more level playing field with the rich. I think that's fair enough. If you've been forced into subjugation for centuries, then I think it's fair enough to fight back. I don't think any of us would disagree with that. Now, Stalin was an evil man. No getting away from it. Lenin was almost good, but with policies like war communism and his unwillingness to hand over power to the proletariat, he failed. He missed the mark too much. Marx, I think he can be forgiven considering the time that he was writing and the awful conditions that he was in. He still didn't hold all the answers, but I think we can sort of forgive him. It's a dash of cultural relativism. But there is another form of communism that I like to be affiliated with, and it's the earliest form of the ideology. This is hundreds of years before Marx was born. And it's an idea where the wealth in a community is distributed fairly, and this is called communism. Right? Communism is a very, very old ideology. The early church started it, right? So it's really, really old as an ideology. And way back when things were simpler, the community just divided everything up and shared it out equally, because the community was small and that made more sense. However, as the community got larger and more complicated and complex economic systems were developed, along with the growth of the capitalist ideology, communism became impossible and illogical to exploit in its purest form. So, communism has to adapt into the real world. So what does that mean exactly? Well, in a communist state, there would be very high taxes. We're talking 50 to 60% of all income being taken away as tax. And that seems very, very harsh. That seems awful. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because your house, your car if you need one, schooling, medicine, higher education, university, all paid for by the state. You will never have to pay rent, no mortgage, no electricity bill, no water bill, no gas bill, nothing like that. Because the state would cover all of it. All you need to do is get a job and buy groceries. That's it. Anything else you want to do, you can. If you want to buy a second car, all you have to do is save up for it. If you want a holiday, save up for it. You want to upgrade your house, you can pay for that as well. The essentials are provided for you. The bare necessities that you need to live in a modern country are provided. But after that, you're free to do as you like. It means there is no welfare state because there doesn't need to be one. Right? It means that while the country is communist, it still has the ideals of self-betterment, innovation, and entrepreneurism that would allow for greater economic growth globally. So it has all the best bits of capitalism, along with the ideology of communism. Call me an idealist, but I think that sounds like a great way to live, if you ask me. Anyway, I hope this explains my ideology effectively. See you later, YouTube.